Hey guys, it's Jake here, and I thought I'd do a short video on how to speed up your editing process. We're all shooting higher and higher resolution cameras now, a lot of 4K footage with computers that can't quite keep up with 4K footage. So you either work with it and deal with it, or you go to what's called Proxy Files, and they are lower resolution files that allow you to edit faster. So the computer we're working on is a 13-inch MacBook Pro, 3.1 gigahertz, 16 megabytes of RAM. And I just opened up a nice 4K file from some drone footage. This is the footage that's difficult to edit in, the format that's difficult to edit in. It's H.264. And this raw footage right out of the drone, it's about 60 megabits a second, 3840 by 2160 at 29.97 frames per second. So good footage, just difficult to edit with. Sometimes it'll be choppy on the playback on your laptop. Sometimes it's smooth. It just depends on how good your MacBook Pro is. Again, we're using the Retina 13-inch, 3.1 gigahertz on an i7. Pretty good computer, but not strong enough for native 4K editing. So the workaround for this is Proxy Files. So I just opened up an Adobe Premiere CC sequence here, and let's drop in that original 4K file. So we'll drop in the original 4K file here. And then we'll drop that into the timeline. That'll make a new sequence. And you'll see as we try to play back this footage, the computer's really going to struggle with playing back. You'll either get drop frames, you'll barely be able to get any motion going, or it's just overall very choppy. So I can change the quality there by going to 1/2 all the way down to 1/8, and that'll help a little bit, but it's never as good as dealing with proxy footage. Even 1/8 struggles here a little bit. But no big deal. We're going to use the workaround here. We're going to right click, go down to Proxy, and create Proxies. That'll open up Adobe CC Encoder. Sorry, first we need to pick the format. We want QuickTime. And I like to do 1280 by 720 Apple ProRes 422 Proxy. ProRes is a very editable format. Alright, after that's selected, choose your destination. I use next to the original media and a proxy folder. We'll hit OK. Now that will open up Adobe Media Encoder. And boom, that file went right into the encoder and it started encoding. I even missed the start time a little bit there, but it does have an elapsed time at the bottom. So now we're going to watch how long it takes for the encoder to process the footage. And we'll timestamp this with how long it takes. And then we'll show you the reason we're doing all of this. Okay, so the encoding process is done. That took 4.5 minutes with Adobe Encoder CC. Okay, so that automatically will connect to your original footage. You don't have to do anything. Adobe's very automatic about it. But now I want to show you why we're doing this proxy. So the playback will be improved, but first we need to add the proxy icon here to the timeline window. We'll hit the plus icon. We'll find where the proxy is. There it is, and you just drag it down. Like that. Hit OK. Now when I select it, it'll turn blue, and your computer is using the proxy footage for editing. So here's that proxy file. Let's go check it out. It's 22 megabits per second instead of 60. Smaller resolution, same frame rate, but allows you to edit quicker, allows you to apply effects, speed ramps, pretty much everything faster. So now when we go back to our timeline, we hit play, you'll get nice smooth playback of your footage. No more chop, no more lost frames. Just overall much better experience. It's like you're editing a lot smaller files all of a sudden. But at any time, if you want to see the high-res file again, you'll just press the proxy viewer button and you're right back to your high-resolution files for color correction or anything like that. So I went ahead and deleted that proxy file or threw it on the desktop because I want to show you another option to increase the time it takes to encode these proxy files. So I bought a program called Edit Ready. It's about $50. My registered version's on a different login, so we'll have to just use the trial here. It's for any files less than a minute long, and I just drop in the original 4K footage. I select the ProRes 422 proxy format, same one we did with Adobe. Destination folder, we'll click there, and I'm going to make a new folder just to keep things organized. So we'll call this Edit Ready. And then additional options. You can do some video overlays, burn in some text, apply a LUT, do some frame rate adjustment, frame resizing, or H.264 advanced options. I do the frame resizing. I don't want to edit in 4K. I want to edit in a lower res until I'm done editing. So I'll create these proxies at 1280 by 720, just like we did on the Adobe Encoder. And now we're going to encode it the same process or same format as Adobe had. And I want to time this against the Adobe Encoder, and it should be faster. So we'll get the clock ready here. Remember, it is screen recording on both of these tests, so it's a little bit slower because of that. But it is even match. And we'll select Convert All. So let's let that run and let's time it and let's compare it against Adobe. So to encode that same file, it's a 44-second long file that took 4 minutes flat. So that saved 30 seconds over Adobe Encoder's version of a similar software. So it doesn't sound like much, but that was only a 44-second clip. So let me do some math here real quick. Let's say we went out and shot an hour and a half of footage, and then we had to run this process. Let me tell you how long that would take on both platforms. So after some quick math, if we shot 90 minutes of footage, which is a lot, that would take us 7.5 hours for Adobe Encoder to process the proxy files. So that's why I said you generally would do this overnight and have it ready by morning. And if you use the Easy Edit software, that would only take you 6 hours and 45 minutes. So you would save about 45 minutes by using Easy Edit. Now, is 45 minutes worth $50? I don't know. It's up to you. Depends on how much footage you process. But for someone like me, I do this a lot. 45 minutes goes a long way for $50. So well worth the $50 for me. Okay, now that the Easy Edit file has been completed, let's go look at it real quick. and you will see here it's still 22 megabits per second, just like Adobe. Same frame rate and same frame size, and plays back very smooth. Now, how do I connect the proxy with Adobe here? I'm just going to right click. I'll go to proxy. Instead of create, I'm going to just say attach proxies, and just go through your file directory and find that same file but the proxy version inside the folder, whatever folder you created. I did get ready, and I'll click there, and you'll click OK, and it will connect the proxy behind the scenes to that file. So anytime you press here and it turns blue, you're using that backup lower resolution file for editing. And at any moment you can just unclick the blue and you're back to your high resolution file. If you want to get this easy edit software, let me show you the website real quick. I'll put a link in the description below, or you can just Google Edit Ready, and their company is called Divurgent Media, and there is a trial. You can try it for free, and then if you decide to buy it, you'll click here, and yeah, still $49.99. So that's Edit Ready 2.0. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please subscribe, please give us a like, and if there's something we can do better, please comment in the comment section below. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.